Oh gosh. Hey, toaster. I always do this. I just like, I've never actually been at the very beginning of one of my different username streams, but I'm quite curious how it starts because maybe he does like something similar to what I do, or I do something similar to what he does, where I just start the fucking stream and then I don't have like anything pulled up. I don't have chat made or anything like that. Thought you built the HK53 already? I built the HK33 from Rainbow Six Siege, and then someone suggested it in my big YouTube post that we're about to go look at. So the difference between the 53 and the 33 is just barrel length and one of the couple of the furniture. So that's not exactly something hard. Hey, Golden Llama. But yeah, I'm just using this right now to do something and I guess enjoy. Oh, I see what you're saying. My stream title hasn't changed. Well, we're just gonna leave it like it is. Yeah, no, the HK53 came out 5 days ago. So technically 6 days because I usually render these things at night. Oh wow, 46 likes. That's pretty nice. I like that. I never answered you, and that was an interesting debate. Yeah, I didn't realize that. We're gonna go check on this post that I made. Wow, it seems like forever ago. A week ago, I guess. Because we're up to 91 days. So we're 10 days worth of content more than where we were last time. So now we need, what did I say, 91, and we need 104. So we need 3 and 9 make 12. We need 12 more days. 13 more days? I think it's 13 more days. I think my math is just stupid. The Volt is definitely a possibility. I'm waiting on you to post it, Golden Llama. I'm not sure if you posted here or not. We did the HK53. I've checked all of these. I'm really not too interested in making any of them, to be completely honest. The Alien is a possibility, but someone made a grip to an Alien in my different usernames Discord chat. That was just perfect. I'm not interested in any of Fallout New Vegas. I'm not really interested in Doom, as I have my different usernames Doom Shotgun, so that's not going to happen. I do have an STG-44. I actually have Trey or Zin's STG-44, so we can't do that. We don't have a Lewis gun, so that is a possibility. It's also, obviously would be very interesting and unique of a thing to make. Figuring out how to do the drum mag would definitely be interesting, at least to say. So that's a possibility. The Cordite from Jaden. I took a look at it. I wasn't really too interested in what it really represented. We did the PP91 Kedar, as Toaster suggested. We have not done any of these at all. So I've already done a toaster request. We might not do another toaster request. DT LMG, I don't know what that is. DT LMG. Oh. Wow, dummy. Also another possibility of something to do. Possibly, we'll see. I'm just kind of going through here. The Wingman from Titanfall 2 is a possibility because I know there's a couple different tutorials that we could rip off for it. Browning High Power, I need to make for Rainbow Six Siege. The Last Word from Destiny 2 is not going to happen. Nick Brooks is just way too good to be making one of them. I'm not interested in the Mark 23. The Model 1887 we made. The L2 8th what was the L2A3? Wasn't that a... Oh, yeah, that's right, the Sterling. Which eventually we'll end up making because of Rainbow Six Siege. The G11 we've already made, so that's definitely not going to happen. Hey, Luke. M4 LMG from COD Mobile. That's just... It's definitely possible, but I mean, that would just be me making... Sorry if y'all heard that. That's just me making another AR-15 platform weapon, and a lot of people are, in fact, tired of seeing AR-15 platforms. Pt.1 is actually a really good possibility because we have... First off, we do, in fact, have a receiver that we could use, which is good. We made... Technically, we did... Oh, God. We did make a version of this stock that we used on a custom airsoft version of the SL8, as well as the grip. So we could technically make a PSG-1. Yeah, Luke, we're looking for a gun. Have I ever made a deagle? Yeah, I've made plenty of deagles. We can actually take a look at my most recent one, as I believe it has already come out. The question is, it's here. So we do have a Desert Eagle here. PSG-1 is definitely a candidate for making something go. The Colt LMG is basically another fucking AR-15 that I'm not too particularly interested in making. I am kind of looking for something easy to make tonight, though. Like something that's not going to take too long. I think my just general issue is this stupid handguard. Like, why did they make this? And do they all just use this M16 stock? Because that's kind of meh. Try a Black Ops 4 gun. No one has made one yet. Well, besides me sometime this week. My issue is I never played Black Ops 4. I did not buy it because I was not interested in where the direction of the game was going. So I'm definitely not going to be making something for Black Ops 4. I think some of the Black Ops 3 designs I can really get behind. I also really like their attachment system on Black Ops 3, but the Black Ops 4 gun I really don't like. Also, really quick. Okay. I'm checking the audio profile. Stoner 63 is definitely a possibility. We'll throw the Colt LMG up here for the sake of something super easy. HK51B is just... what the fudge? Why? So first off, I'd have to make a new stock. But I could literally take the 53 and make a belt-fed version of it and be fine. Did they use these with box magazines then? So it's an HK21, but shortened. We will throw that on the list as well. Because that would also be something really easy to do. I don't know what How's It Going is talking about here. So we're just going to skip over that. I have multiple really good MP7 models, so that's not going to happen. I can't justify making another one just yet. And I do have a TMP model, and the MP9 is the same thing as the TMP, so it's... I shouldn't say the same thing. It's the same design, except Steyr sold the rights of the TMP to Brugger and Thomet, who changed the name to the MP9. So it's the same thing, sold by two different companies. Titanfall R99, I'm not going to go through all that work just yet. I have my different usernames in P40, so that's also not going to happen. I did make a Calibri, though I haven't shown it off. And this is just not going to happen. I'm going to be completely honest with you. Hey, what's up, Soul Gaming? Let's, I've got, okay, so the Lewis gun would be just an outright brand new build. And it's already 6:30. I do have work tomorrow, so I can't be up all night doing a brand new build. So we've narrowed it down to 3 different things. We have the Pt.1, the Colt LMG, the HK51B. And I think there's only one real way to be fair about which one of these we choose, okay? Hey Siri, choose a number between 1 and 3. So she took 2. I can't. Yeah, I can't actually show you guys that, but I swear she did choose 2. Wow, no, I should have reordered the tabs. Oh god, I gotta make the Colt LMG now. Dang it, dude. Whoa, what is this? Whoa, 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 whoa. This I might actually get behind. Can I? Okay. Let's do some research, chat. Why don't we do that? Yeah, she chose 2. So unfortunately, we'll be doing this. But photo is above his collection of Alex Young LMG options Colt made over the years. At the top of the newest, the IAR. That's not confusing at all. Wait. This is the gun that was submitted that became the M27? M27 doesn't have a handguard like this, though. Okay, really quick. M4 LMG COD Mobile. Let's take a look at this real quick. How did they design their front end? Okay. Alright. So I see kind of an HK inspiration for this top rail up here. This also looks monolithic almost, which is really interesting. But I've never seen an M27 with this handguard before. Am I just stupid? M27 handguard. Colt. Yeah, that didn't really bring up a whole lot of really good search results. So that's definitely interesting. I wonder if that was a prototype then, by chance. So this here is just, it looks like a M16 upper. Oh, actually, we can read. Below the IR is the Colt LMG, iconic and instantly recognized by its handguards, vertical foregrip, carry handle, bipods. Fired from an open bolt and was meant to fill the light machine gun role. The barrel is a much heavier H-bar for sustained full auto. I'm assuming this just means heavier barrel, or heavy barrel, and that's why they call it H-bar. You will all notice that while it is a A2 upper, it has no forward assist, not needed when the gun operates as an open bolt. A slightly different version of this gun is still in service with Canada and a few other countries as a light support weapon. So I would just have to make a heavy barreled version, a bipod, which is I'm not really too keen on making, but we could. A carry handle. Does it have to have a foregrip? Because it's not going to look too good. I'm really interested in this handguard up here because this handguard up here looks way better. And then obviously these two are just, I really don't care about, like at all. Oh, it has a heat sink inside. See, that's cool to know. So this has a heat sink under it, I'm guessing. That's probably what these ribs are over here. That's nice. You could try to make it an M16, but try to make the handguard look like a rounded box with Picatinny rails all over and a thick 60-round mag. Have I ever made the Car 98K yet? Or Car 98? No, I haven't. Let's just, our overlord Siri has chosen for us the wonderful Colt LMG. So I guess, can I get a decent image of a Colt LMG? I guess that means we need to start with an M16 Receiver. And the sad news is I don't... Is it here? And this one? Please be it. Please have your delta ring. You don't. Okay. Wait, that's wrong. So, can we find one of these with a delta ring? Let's do that. Import model. Just noticed when you looked up N16 handguard Colt, it showed up a Colt 1911 image. Yeah, I think it was from Call of Duty, actually. I'm not surprised. I think just, you know how like on YouTube, if you search certain keywords, like certain videos pop up because there's tags. Pretty sure Google works the same exact way. It just brings up certain results because of tags and whatnot. So it's not there underneath lifelike AR-15, which means shouldn't there be an M4 somewhere around here? See, this is interesting. Because I thought I had made a new M4A1 after this, but I don't actually see it. Let's just go with this for now, because we can take and retain what we need to retain from it all, and delete the rest of it that we don't need to retain. We should service all of our rifles out there with something that looks like this. Kind of starts to look like a weird alien rifle or something that you would see in sci-fi movies that they took and just chopped up or something. This menu fave brings the stars out. Thank you, Starbucks, for your wonderful little notification, even though I really don't need to. Alright, I'm going to turn this fan off because now I'm starting to get cold. I've been working all day, so. Why did I make everything pink? I have terrible eyesight, and imagine, if you will, trying to work with everything like this. See how much contrast I just lost between certain things? I lose certain things back and forth. Brick outlines can only do so much to really, really help, but working with everything like this is way more difficult. So working with like bright colors like this is way easier. See you later, Luke. Thanks for stopping by and commenting, man. I appreciate it. I've done this pretty much all my time using LDD, unless I'm doing a Lego set reproduction, in which case I won't do it then. But for the most part, I always work in some type of bright color. Give me one moment. I'm gonna grab a water. My eyes are getting old from all the years of playing video games right in front of the TV screen and getting a whole bunch of crap in them, working out in the shop and things like that. My eyes are kind of shot. So being able to actively see, if you will, all the pieces is getting more and more difficult the further on I go in life. Can I find a top image? I know it's Phantom Forces. Yeah, but they don't have an image detailed enough to show me what it. Oh my gosh, that's better, I guess. So there are holes up top. That's what I was actually looking for, was an image at the top of the receiver to find out if there's holes or not, and there is in fact holes. So that's helpful. We now know that there's holes up top that we need to add. So we're going to do 5 studs to 4 studs, I think is the best idea. And if we put that there, followed by this here, that'll start it. If it's a joke that's not going to be like offensive, then yes. But if you're gonna be like offensive, then no. Obviously, certain jokes are gonna be not taken too kindly in these parts. All right, so this curve we can start and then carry on down. I should have left this standard length handguard here because I'm pretty sure it's literally just an M16 barrel, but heavier. So we should use this to get the top of the curve down, which is going to be nice because that it starts this. And I'm okay with that. And then we're going to take a color selection, literally just duplicate this all around to this side. What galaxy takes up 2% of our space? That's a good question. I don't know. I really don't. I tried really hard to think about that for a logical answer. So then we need these lines. And we can't even do what I wanted to do because we can't fit that many in here. That is poo-poo. Oh, I thought really hard about that for a moment because I didn't get it. But then I realized that you meant 2% milk. And now it makes complete sense. And I can say, okay, I get it. Is it funny? Not really. But I'm also a tough crowd. My girlfriend shows me memes all the time. And I'll look at the meme. And I will read it. And then I will deadpan look at her face. And then just look away. Because I just did not find what she showed me funny. At all. Sometimes she just doesn't show me funny things. But I also understand that I am a tough person to try to humor. There we go. Don't know what the heck? Don't know what was up with my English at that point. All right. So now we must sometimes I get so bored that I tell myself jokes or look in my joke book. I have not looked at a joke book in ages. It's probably been since middle school that I've even seen a joke book. I used to carry one around with me all the time because I used to get together with my friends and we used to have like small little, oh my god guys, this is so funny, we should open the joke book and find a joke. And I was at middle school, I was in middle school at the time, and there was like a couple dirty jokes toward the back or relationship jokes. And you know when you're really, really young, those are like top-notch tier worth the funny. So, you know, back then, that's kind of what we did to humor ourselves in between classes, during lunch, stuff like that. I remember them being super lame jokes as well. Like, just miserable. I stopped when I got out of middle school because I grew up a little bit, but not in the, like, ooh, jokes are just not good enough for me anymore, but in the, I'm not going to talk about jokes. I'm going to crack jokes back and forth with my friends, but a lot of our conversations now are not going to be necessarily centered around just telling jokes back and forth, but, you know, we'll tell each other's experiences about, like, oh, last night in the middle of band, someone threw up and it just came out the top of their tuba or something like that, right? And then we'll crack jokes about back and forth at that person's expense because, of course, you are. But it's not something that, you know, we're going to really push for. It almost feels like a lot of times they get to like the worst person to write joke books, if you will. Oh gosh. Oh god. Everything's falling apart. Sorry about that, guys. Like someone, like they'll get a room together with a whole bunch of people. I'm also moving, so that's also probably going to mess with you guys' audio. They get these big people like in rooms, and then they just think tank like crap tons of jokes for some reason. I'm going to pause for a moment because I'm going to read, I'm going to drink some water real quick. No, Golden Llama, you're good. I'm not going to say, nah, I can't even say it like that. I'm going to say you're good, Llama, because you're giving me a direction in the conversation to go, which is good. You'll find, at least in my eyes, because this is how I think anyhow, the chat makes or breaks some streamers, and I'm one of those streamers. Because if the chat is not interacting with me, if they're not giving me topics to talk about, if they're not cracking jokes back and forth with me, is another good example, then to me, I just stop talking. Like, I will literally just stop talking. I don't want to talk anymore if that happens. And because I don't talk anymore, it just kind of dies down in stream because there's just no conversation or anything going on. So that's kind of my downfall, if you will. So you talking, not a bad thing. And, you know, obviously if it ever got to spam, I'll say something, or a moderator will say something when necessary, but you're good right now. You're not being spammy or anything like that. I've seen spam before, believe me. We have dealt with spam before as well, and you're doing just fine. All right, so this can be this and this, and then we can color select this, rotate it 180 degrees, and it will fit right there. I think so. How am I going to make the middle arch? I'm not going to. There's no way for me to be able to do that. with the amount of space that I have, because these arch pieces take up a lot of room for what they are. It's going to be heavily implied, and I've already gone a step above what most people will do. I'll tell you that right now, because most people are just going to put these lines like I did, and the way they would do it would be just traditional brick stacking instead of like really going out of their way to try to make it look good with stud on top techniques, tiles, and stuff like that. So I've definitely gone above and beyond. It's just not absolutely perfect, because these arch pieces are just a little bit bigger than what I have enough room for in this amount of space. If I made the entire thing one more stud taller in one direction, which is going to look wrong for what it is, I could fit another pair in between it. Because this is 2 studs in between, I need 3 studs in total, and I could do that. The problem with doing that is that in between all of these ribs, you can see this is more like 1 stud worth of width. If I were to make this another arch piece here, there'd be 2 studs worth of width between all of these, and it would look wrong for what it is. So I'm going to imply the middle one, but I'll get the top 2. It'll look pretty alright. What Lego gun would you recommend me building? I'm more to stick with the SMGs and pistols. I would find something unique that other people haven't done that's going to challenge you in some type of way. That's my general answer. I can give you quite a few different resources. I have an issue with giving people suggestions for the most part. I'm not saying like you're bothering me or anything. What I'm getting at is I find a lot of times if you suggest something to someone, their response is going to be, no, I don't want to make that. Nope, I don't feel like doing that right now, and stuff like that. And it can get really frustrating to throw suggestions at people, and the response is, no, I'm not going to make that. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. As someone who's suggesting things, I say this in full irony, as I just went through a whole list of things where I was immediately like, nope, not going to do that. Nope, not going to do that. So it's kind of one of those things where you just gotta, you have to find what you want to do at the time. I'm kind of forcing myself right now to do this because of how close I am to the amount of stuff that I need. I need 104 creations in total to finish all of next year, and I'm at 91, so I'm forcing myself to do this. That's why I narrowed it down to 3 options that are relatively easy to make, because that makes my life far easier. And this just so happens to be what that person chose. I don't want to say her name because it might like come on, which is annoying. But yeah, this is so far what we have made wonderfully. Have you ever made one of these amazing creations in real life? I've made quite a few in real life, actually. I have a lot of them still built in real life as well. I really don't like to destroy these models, no matter like what they are. I really just don't like to destroy them. So I do have quite a few of these still lying around. I actually have them all boxed up right now with me inside the apartment. I put them all in a box to protect them. I had them all lying around out in the open. Really not doing anything other than collecting dust. And my girlfriend's cousin was over for a little bit. And in the process of her being over here, a lot of them ended up getting damaged in some way, shape, or form, because she would put her stuff down on top of them in the storage area that they were sitting in and stuff like that, which half not her fault, half her fault. Half of it not being her fault is me not putting them in their proper space, and then the other half of it being her fault is her just neglecting to not throw her shit down on top of it. That's neither here nor there. the point of the whole matter is, yes, I do make some of these in real life. I'm gonna try to build an MP5K. That's not a bad thing to start with. It's you know, a relatively small thing. Actually, I have an MP5K that I looked at last night inside of storage behind me. That was quite fun to make. It's every video about it on my channel. I believe it's called Fugly MP5K or something like that. It should be here though on the channel somewhere. I should have a couple videos, I think. That was fun to make, and that was a real life build. So you know what that is. Those are fewer and far between on my channel, as most of the content that I'm making is a digital builder, which there's nothing wrong with that. It's just so a lot more people like physical builds as opposed to what I do with mine, which there's absolutely nothing wrong with, except for the most part. What I'm ending up doing is, I wouldn't say more difficult, it's more of a niche. So for a lot of people, they don't want to come see what I make because I never make them in real life or something like that. They kind of want to come out here and see it all built up in real life and looking really cool and stuff like that, which is understandable. But the charging handle would probably be a pain in the ass for me, but I'll try my best. It depends on how you make the charging handle, because there are a couple different ways that you can make the charging handle for the MP5. Roller delayed systems in general, the HK line of weapons, that type of charging handle in particular. That will make your life easy or potentially hard. It just depends which technique you really go for, which honestly, it's kind of up to you. I can't really tell you which technique to use and which technique to not use. So this is interesting because we technically don't need to turn this around right here, because I need the back side of studs to start the arch on this side. So that's definitely interesting. I believe in my most recent MP5s, I used a new piece in order to get it to angle the way it should and lock into place as it should. But obviously, you know, digital building is way different than actual building because I have the ability to do that, whereas, you know, most people don't have the ability to do that. All the pieces that I have are unlimited. I can give them in whatever color I want. I don't have to sit here and... These pieces right here that I'm using right now, 1x1 square tiles, few and far between in my collection. I have little to none of these. 1x1 round tiles, I have absolute crap tons of those. But all these 1x1 squares don't have those. But I use them so often on my Lego guns that it just makes sometimes making certain things nay impossible. Because they just don't manifest all the time. Hey, Skymish. I can hollow out most of it and see how I do. So a good thing, Llama, if you wanted to, you technically don't even need to go through making a working model. If you're relatively new to the hobby, you're not entirely comfortable with everything that's going on, you can always skip over making how do I say this? You can skip over making features of it in Maxi and go straight into just making a display model, as you will, or as you would, like, you know, as you would say, a display model. And your display model would be, you know, more or less something that it's just there for display. It doesn't have any working features, but it looks really good. Actually, fun fact, LEGO Replicas released his his PPK today, his Walter PPK. And it has no features on it, like at all. Literally none. No slide, no trigger, no magazine release, none of that. However, he does have that it's beautiful, like it's gorgeous how it looks. It's 3 studs wide, which really fits to the PPK's dimensions. All the angles are correct, and it's just so smooth and elegant that it looks really, really good. It's not exactly something, what the heck? It's the first time I've ever really heard that noise. I don't know where that came from. It's not something that he could ever like pew at his friends or anything, but it's definitely a really good looking model for what it is. You know, he went through a lot of challenges in order to get it to look that good. I want to display it and have my cousin not break it at the same time, and he always finds a way to get up to places high. I had a lot of issues growing up with my sister, and not even gun models, but you know, I would make something and I would have it just lying around in my room, and you would get home from school, and because of our age difference, sometimes she would get home before me. I would get home from school, I'd walk into my room, and there's just like a pile of parts on the floor of whatever I had built at the time. You know, sometimes actual like models too, not just guns. And there was never an explanation of how that happened. It was just always, it broke. And then you would always go to your parents. Your parents would look at you and say, well, you built it, so you can figure out how to fix it. I'm not going to punish them. And then you're sitting there like bawling your eyes out because your parents don't understand the hobby at all. The jerks. I never really had too much of an issue for the most part. I did have some issues with models being broken or not all left the same way or not together the same way when I got home, which is a giant pain. It was funny because a lot of times we would actually steal parts back and forth from one another. So I'm going to throw this into huge quotation marks. What me and my sister found cool, we would just take back and forth from one another and use it on a model. And then certain pieces had certain purposes in our collection. Like cone pieces were shield generators. So if we ever battled back and forth with whatever models we had made, you would need a shield generator or your model would get like instantly damaged, right? And then certain colors meant like they were stronger or weaker. And then, you know, you always had to kind of fight back and forth over the rules as you went because you always made up the rules as you were playing. You never really kept it the same. And then whenever we got new parts, we would dump all the parts on the ground. And we would play rock, paper, scissors, shoot for who went first. And we would pick a piece one by one by one until usually it got down to me saying, no, I don't want it anymore. You can have all the rest. And then I would give her all the rest. So glass display, actually, no, he loves them. When I say loves, I mean loves to break stuff like glass. Glass has an interesting way of breaking, I guess. is the best way to say it. I'm not too sure about that one, to be honest with you. Maybe he just really wants to break the glass. Not everything can be cousin proof. I guess is a good way to say that. I didn't, however, make a mistake here. We do need to round the front end of this off as well, which means grabbing these and putting them back. And it's going to change the front end look of this like drastically compared to everything else, which is good. It's not a bad thing. I was about to say that should fit, and it didn't for some reason. Oh, what an interesting job to have. Not only do you get to see a lot of products before they actually get unveiled, but depending on which product you're actually testing, it could be really cool and or really stupid. Like I said, it just really depends on what product you were testing. I used to watch Modern Marvels as a kid a lot. When Modern Marvels was my favorite show. There was a lot of weird-ass facts in it that not a lot of people knew. They showed you different things back and forth that I found really fascinating as a kid. I was a nerd as a kid, basically. But there was an episode that they did all about candy, and I believe they had this, well, I don't believe, I know this for a fact. I forget which particular episode it was in. But they had a guy who works for one of the ice cream manufacturing groups, and his entire job is to do nothing but taste test ice cream all day long, and he has a golden spoon that he does it with, because the gold on the spoon doesn't detract from the taste of the ice cream. It's like a pure taste, and that's why he has to use a gold spoon. And I remember that like very vividly, because I just thought as a kid, you know, that would be the best job ever to have, because all you do is taste test ice cream all day long and tell people whether or not you like it or not. Yeah, rip. I was never too mad at my sister for breaking things. I just got really frustrated if it was something that I kind of cared about, if you will. Crap, I need to put this here, but I can't. Oops. I usually got more upset if it was she kind of did it and then try to hide it, basically. Our first luxury purchase will be gold spoons. I'm not going to eat off a gold spoon. I will buy you one, but I'm not going to ever use one. I don't like gold. Anything, really. I really don't. Precious metals have no interest to me. Yes. I'd rather food. I ate today. I had 4 Egg McMuffins today, 2 hash browns, and a large caramel frappe. That's what I had today. I stopped by McDonald's this morning. I bought everything for my entire day, and then that's what I ate all day long. When I get to that, that's what we'll end up doing. So gaming. But yeah, so I got home and I did what I told you I was going to do, and then afterwards I just kind of realized exactly how hungry I was. I mean, I figured I wasn't going to be that hungry after 4 Egg McMuffins, because I had 2 for breakfast, and that like filled me up. But then I was like, I think I could eat one more, and I proceeded to eat one more. And eating that one more, like, put my stomach into like freak mode. Like, it was just like, I don't know about that one, Chief. Hey, Gavin. So for the rest of the day, I was kind of like iffy about eating any more of Egg McMuffins or anything like that. But I had one more left, so I was kind of like, well, I'll just wait until I get back to the yard to eat it. So the second I got back to the yard, I went ahead and ate it. Which is, I don't regret the decision, but my stomach was definitely not happy that I ate it. It was maybe 30 minutes went by before my stomach started giving me the rumblies to let me know that I was like not smart about doing that. The good news is I came home, I did what I needed to do, and it was good. No issues after that. Nothing much, Kevin. Today we are working on the Colt LMG as proposed by someone in one of my big posts on YouTube. It was a random choice. I don't know if I'll do it again with Egg McMuffins, because I did also I got really tempted to get the big breakfasts thing, big breakfast platter with hotcakes, I think is what it's called. I was really, really tempted to get that. But then I got really pissed off because McDonald's screwed me over this morning and I was not happy. And I just kind of like panicked when it actually finally came down to taking my order. So, yeah. I don't do it all the time. I knew what I was doing. I knew that I was doing something that's going to take all day, and I did not want to drive somewhere for lunch. So I decided to get lunch and breakfast at the same time. 60-round stoner mag? Is that the one that flares out? Yeah, this thing? Surefire? Is it this thing? It's definitely going to be easier on you. No, oh, I'm sorry, easier on me. I was reading your comment as I said that. I will take that into consideration. I just don't know if I'm going to put a magazine in this or not. I might just literally finish the entire gun itself and be like, all right, that's good enough, and then not ever turn back and look at this thing again. I'm really not happy about having to make this because I didn't want to make this. Oh, get something that doesn't need to be refrigerated? Yeah, I could have. McDonald's was serving breakfast at the time. I literally don't think there's anything that I could have gotten from them. I don't really know their breakfast menu all too well. That's like painfully obvious now. So the issue that I'm having is that I now need to... Hey, David. I need to flip this around some type of way. And I can't do it the illegal way. Use that lunchbox to preserve it. I don't even think I have a lunchbox. No, I'm pretty sure the stoner mag and the casket mag are the same exact thing. How do I flip this around? Wait a second. I have a lunchbox? I didn't buy a lunchbox. Years of experience terminal. That's basically what it boils down to. Hey, Akihito. Where's my lunchbox, I think, Kenyana? The orange one? I don't... I'm trying to think really hard. Like, I'm not even screwing with you. In the orange one in your closet? It's still really not ringing a bell. I'd have to open up your closet and look for it. But I'm not going to get up. I'm going to be completely honest with you. It's black and orange. I really don't remember. It's not that I couldn't find my lunchbox. I just never really bothered to get one. Unless I'm completely wrong, because Kenyana's over here telling me that I did, in fact, get one. And I really just do not remember ever buying one. Which is interesting, at least to say. Why is this so long? Can I not shove this like way up in there? That was interesting. It's the first time I've heard that sound on our windows. I'm trying to flip this arch piece around 180 degrees. Yeah, I can't shove this all the way in there. What the fudge? But I can't do it without making it look too bad. I could change like this whole internal area down here, but I really don't want to do that because screw that. But for some reason I couldn't shove that 3-wide post down in here like I should be able to do. Like as you saw, I just can't for some reason make it go any further. So I'm thinking about doing this. Like so. And then placing, now I've got to reverse it the other direction. I suggested stoner mag because it flares from a double stack 3 studs to triple 4 studs. Okay. So this is wow. Wow. Yeah, Philip. What the fuck did you expect to happen? Aren't Stoner 63 magazines just regular AR-15 magazines? Or am I wrong? Can y'all find a name for your Stoner magazine so I can look them up? Because I don't think there was ever a triple stack. I think they're all quad stack. Hope your tummy hurts from boba. It's funny because Potato literally just said something about getting boba tonight. Yo, alright. So I think this is what we're going to do. So my idea here is we just go full illegal. We say screw everything, make it all illegal because who cares? And then in real life, if you ever make it, you just slap some super glue down in here and it'll stay. And there will be no issues. The Stoner 63 magazine? The Stoner 63 magazine is a rockin' lock and back magazine, isn't it? It's not a regular AR-15. I don't even know anymore. I need you guys to actually find like a name for it or something. All right, so now that we're gone fully illegal, I need to replicate this down the length of the gun. So what we can do is be smart about what we're doing. We're going to drop a 16 here. We're going to drop a pushing here. We're then going to say duplicate, 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 duplicate. Control C. Control C, Control V. Huzzah. And I believe that's the amount of space that's required. Bam. Like so. All right, so then this. I forgot to do that one over here. That's no big deal. We'll just have to grab that on the way back. And now we go all the way across. And everyone here takes a blood pact that we never speak about how illegal this shit is ever again. And that's how it's done. It's as simple as that. Welcome to my Lego Digital Designer tutorial on how to do things illegally. Thank you. I've done this for a long time. Ah, crap. I did not select the bushing like I needed to. You just have to remember that LDD has set parameters, and if you know how to mess with the parameters, you can do what I'm doing. Because I'm indexing everything off of the length of the axle, and I'm using a Technic piece or a bar and clip piece, depending on which way you want to do it. It doesn't really matter. Both of them will accomplish the same thing. In order to force it to move in small increments, which is how we ended up doing what we were able to do. So bam, that goes up on top. There's supposed to be holes out front here. I'm not going to really try to do this here because obviously I can't do that there. So I think our best bet for this one is to just run these here. That's actually a really good idea. Haha. I was going to take these and flip them over and use the solid pieces to do this, but I completely forgot that there's airplane windows for this. Dang it! But it doesn't fit all the way down to the end. What a shame. What a shame. Yeah. Y'all two are amazing. No. I am not a heavy metal fan. I do not. Well, I can't. There are certain songs that I listen to that are probably listed in the genre of heavy metal. But it's not something that I actively go out of my way looking for music and stuff like that for. I get recommendations from Trey about it a lot. One of my moderators. The only other moderator other than Potato. But I, like I said, it's not something that I actively go out of my way searching for. I do know 3 Days Grace. I actually have a couple songs downloaded by 3 Days Grace. I just never really considered them heavy metal, I guess. I'd have to go to Apple Music to look at what songs I have downloaded by them, but Zin's probably at work. His work schedule is pretty late into the night, so unfortunately a lot of times while I'm streaming he's at work and he's not able to come in. He has very little days off, unfortunately. And a lot of times it's funny because he'll pop in the stream to watch the stream and he'll be on like a break or something and then immediately have to go like right back to working afterwards, which really sucks, but it is what it is. He's out there making that money, and that's what's up. 3 Days Grace is hard rock. Yeah, I'm not very well versed in the differences, obviously, between most of everything that you guys are talking about. Anything alternative to hard rock I love? It's funny because obviously like genres to music are very well defined. But I'm pretty sure at this point in time, the lines are so blurred back and forth between what's what that a lot of the music I listen to that I really like might actually be considered different genres than what I'm thinking they are. And that obviously makes things way more difficult on my end to say what type of music I like, because you're going to go through my playlists or my music. I don't have playlists. And you're going to be like, whoa, you listen to this, but you don't like this? Like, really confused. Have I played Titanfall 2 yet? Yes, I loved Titanfall 2. I love pretty much everything about Titanfall 2, actually. Story, fantastic. Love the story. Campaign, I'm sorry. Story, campaign, same thing. Multiplayer, loved multiplayer. I love the fast pace of multiplayer. I love the wall running, the parkour, getting all those mechanics down. I loved every inch of that. And then, for the most part, the weapon system. I got really, really tired of trying to get everything unlocked to like the maximum level of everything, because it just takes forever. Trying to unlock all the camouflages and stuff in the game. But at the same time, if you truly get invested in Titanfall 2 and you do nothing but eat, shit, and breathe Titanfall 2 for like a year and unlock everything, you have like my hardcore respect, because that obviously is going to take a long, long time to do. I haven't listened to anything but The Weeknd and K-pop for the last 9 months. You and Kenyana would get, along really well. Favorite SMG in Titanfall is the alternator. I hate the alternator, but I don't hate the alternator because of Titanfall. I hate the alternator because of Apex Legends, because it just always lets me down. It was never as good as the Prowler or the R99, very clearly. And now with the Volt being released, it's even more overshadowed by like literally everything else. Yeah, rock genres used to be simple: alternative, classic rock, hard rock, metal. Not anymore, dude. It's like miserable nowadays. Because like I said, there are certain bands that I listen to that I would not consider hard rock or heavy metal or metal in general. But then like a lot of people are like, "Oh, do you listen to this?" And I'll say no. And then they'll give me an example, and I'll say, "Oh yeah, I know a song by them. Yeah, this song." And then they go, "Whoa, that's this genre." And then I'm like, "Oh shit. Well, that's annoying." Car SMG it's an SMG. You could always use the base of it to turn it into an assault rifle. That's kind of something that I really liked about Titanfall weapons in general, is being able to go back through and use their overall design themselves to turn them into something else. It was just always nice to be able to do that. Was this like 3 holes in? So I chose a pretty good spot to do this in, honestly. GG, Philip. I also really love the design of a lot of Titanfall weapons, Titanfall universe weapons in general. A lot of them are sleek, streamlined, beautiful looking things. And then for the most part, they relatively make sense for what they are. They don't always make sense, but they do make sense from a traditional weapon standpoint, because there are some energy weapons and stuff like that inside the game, which I'm not going to try to, defend or anything like that, because it's ridiculous to try to defend. What's my favorite album or era? Wow, man, that is hard. I'm really tempted to go with like one of the classic albums, but then I'm also like, oh, but that new Five Finger Death Punch album was fucking amazing. Don't you want to say that instead? And that's what makes my life so difficult. There's so many really good options out there. Okay, so for favorite album, I'll give you two that I grew up on like religiously. So, first one, Poison's Greatest Hits album. I grew up on that religiously. It's something that my mom listened to all the time. I can sing pretty much every song word for word from their album, that album in particular. Uh, Next one that my mom listened to all the time in the vehicle, and it rubbed off on me again. Journey's Greatest Hits. I can sing pretty much every song in Journey's Greatest Hit, lyric for lyric, as well. I love pretty much all of those songs. There's not one song in either of those albums, and obviously it's the greatest hits, so they're all going to be good. That's terrible or anything like that. I'm a hardcore Weekend fan. Is it weird for me to listen to heavy metal while thinking of suicide? I will tell you that if you need to talk to someone, there is a hotline that you can talk to, my man. If you need help, go seek it, please. Don't sit here and not take care of yourself. Take care of yourself, man. Get some help if you need it. Cousin's favorite era is when he was on drugs. Oh my god. I got depressed because I was supposed to see him at tour, but COVID cut it off. COVID cut off a lot of things. Yeah, man. I would call the hotline. The hotline's the best place to go to because the hotline has dedicated individuals on it that they're trained to actually particularly deal with this. I'm really not trained to deal with this all too much, so I'm sorry if I don't come across as necessarily like the best of people to talk to. I'm not trained to deal with stuff like this. I'm also kind of really bad at it. Creedence Clearwater Revival Cosmos Factory. I have heard good things about Creedence Clearwater Revival. I have never listened to them actively. That's the moral of the story. I don't listen to a lot of these things actively, and that's part of the issue that we're having. My mom listened to nothing but like 80s hair bands in the car rides that we always went on, like when we were going places and stuff. So that's part of the music that I grew up on for the most part. My dad listened to a classic rock more than anything. So I also grew up with that. And then I have to make this one stuff. I really don't, but I have to just to get what I need done. No, I still can't because I gotta come out of here somehow. This is annoying. Go get some help, Golden Llama. Sounds like you need it, my man. I'm not trying to, be rude or anything, but this is something that you need to talk to someone about, my man. Get some help. Seriously. I was a AP Psych graduate. I passed my AP exam for AP Psych. I spent a lot of time studying human interaction was part of AP Psych, and then understanding how the brain works and things like that. Going out of your way to find someone to talk to will really help you, my man. And I highly suggest that you go ahead and you call the line and you talk to some of the people there so that they can figure it out for you, man. Those people are literally there to help you. I'm pretty sure it's toll free because it's run by a nonprofit organization, probably run by the government, honestly. And I would really like for you to get the help that you so rightfully deserve, man. Nope, I've never heard any of those songs that you just named, Technic. So that's probably depressing. Everyone who knows music is probably like dying miserably on the inside right now because I just said that. And they're probably all like, oh my god, I can't believe it. What is wrong with him? Unsubscribe, dislike. Obvious jokes. But yeah, I've never heard of any of that. This is the other weird thing, and this is kind of why I wish Trey was here, because Trey would really, really help. But I'm also pretty sure I've heard this music before. Might even like the songs that I'm hearing, but I never go back and find them afterwards. So I just kind of forget about them. And then like they'll come on the radio and I'll be like, oh yeah, I love this song. And then I'm usually riding with someone and they'll be like, oh, well, did you know that this is so-and-so? And then I'm like, nope. And then I just forget all about it after that interaction until I have one of my song-seeking nights, I guess is a good thing to call it, but where I basically try to go out of my way to find songs, like Apple Music and stuff. I could listen to Queen one moment and be listening to AC/DC next. I have plenty of songs downloaded by Queen, and I have plenty of songs downloaded by AC/DC. Another one of those like hair bands that my mom really loved was Queen. My dad really loved AC/DC, so I had a clash of both worlds there. Queen's not exactly on AC/DC's level in terms of like rock, somewhat. I would go to say that AC/DC is heavier than Queen, but then Queen comes out with some freaking bangers, man. Hey, no problem, Golden Llama. I'm not going to put too much out there, but I do deal with some of these thoughts on a general occasion. It's not from me, but it does happen in my life on occasion that, it'll pop up and, some people around me, friends, things like that, are dealing with like certain things that they just can't cope with and stuff like that. So it's not just you, man. Never think it's only you and that you're alone in life or anything like that. There are always other people out here that can, really help you out in things. So just remember that. Do you even M16A1? Nope, I don't make any M16A1s anymore because my different username made a fantastic M16A1. Pretty much the only thing that I would do with his M16A1 is drop this receiver on it. But his handguard, his front end, this is his stock anyways. This is his front post sight, and this is his muzzle brake. So I would literally take my receiver and throw it in place of his A1 and call it a day. Because his freaking triangle handguard are just so perfect. I genuinely thought about suicide after Harvey in 2015. I understand, Gavin. It's definitely hard, man. Times have definitely changed in terms of going to school. It's not like it used to be. I talked about this a lot with some of the older guys that I work with because I work with some really old guys. One of them actually comes back tomorrow after getting hip replacement surgery. That's how old some of these people are. Their hips are going out on them. But I used to talk about this all the time with them because I don't really talk to them too much anymore. They went to like different sections of the county, whereas I'm in another section. But we used to talk about how whenever you went to school in the old days, if you had a disagreement with someone over something, you almost never took to calling them insults. Insults might be thrown back and forth for like 3-4 minutes, and then after your insults, you beat the shit out of one another, and you did it barefisted. You never used weapons, right? That's what school fights used to be. And the best part about it is, after one of you lost the fight, or if both of you lost the fight, you found new respect for one another, and you probably became best friends, and you like crushed whatever little petty squabble you had afterwards. That's how it used to be in the old day. It's not like that anymore. Bullying in high school, middle school, and elementary school nowadays is completely more brutal than what it was before. And whenever you do finally get fed up and you want to settle your differences with a fight, you almost always have to use a weapon because the other person is using a weapon. Knives, we've seen guns. I've seen tasers used before. I'm not going to say the school that we went to was like overly violent, but there was a fight almost every week there. And I've talked about this on the channel before, but the staff had to be like brutal whenever they broke up the fight. Otherwise, they would get involved and would have to defend themselves, and that was never fun. I had literally watched our principal knock out someone before. I'm sorry, not our principal. Um, I think I've said his name before. It was a doctor, I should say, who was a teacher. He was a veteran, rode a Harley to school every single day with a bandana and like the sunglasses and the jacket. Like, just think of a biker, and this was the dude, except skinny. And he literally tackled someone to the ground and knocked them clean out, stood up, brushed himself off, and then let the student resource officer handle it from there. But it's definitely changed with how bullying is nowadays. I completely understand the thoughts. I'm just going to reiterate. If you guys really need the help, the hotline is here. You guys can give the call to the hotline any time of day. It's always open, free of charge. It's something that you guys can look up. If you're using internet right now to watch me, you can go to the hotline if you really need it. And no problem, Golden. Thank you. I appreciate it, man. Nowadays, it's Rebecca, the SJW, versus that name of the vegan. I don't know who I'm talking to on the internet a lot of times in my chat. Unless you guys open up with me and let me know. But I will let you guys know right now. I'm 23. I've been in this world for 23 years. I was born in 1997. I've been to college. I went to college for 2 years at a local community college. It was what I could afford at the time. It was a really eye-opening experience. The one class that I want to highlight, which I've talked about this on stream before, is sociology. Sociology, for those of you who don't know, is the study of people, like our interactions as a culture with one another, back and forth, and things like that. It was a very eye-opening class if I didn't already have one with a progressive teacher that I really liked in high school, who I'm not afraid to say his name, but I'm not going to say his name because he was in the news for our school, unfortunately. RIP. But I had him as a sociology teacher in high school for half a semester, and he was fantastic at teaching sociology, and I loved the study of it. But that was just an honors class. It wasn't an AP class. So when I went to college, I didn't have a credit for sociology, and a couple of my other friends needed a credit for sociology, or it was humanities, basically. So we ended up taking the class together. It was a woman teaching the class, and she spewed the worst possible type of agenda from a social justice warrior feminist perspective. There is nothing wrong with being a social justice warrior or a feminist. I absolutely love watching people go out of their way to prove their point as a social justice warrior or a feminist when they're right and the other person is being a complete and fucking utter jackass. I love it, especially if they do it in a very calm, orderly fashion and just to prove their point. I love it when people do that. I love that even if you're not an SJW and a feminist and you're just trying to prove your point. I'll say that being a social justice warrior and a feminist has nothing to do with it. I just love when people get their due justice You can ask Kenyana. I was watching a whole bunch of cop videos yesterday, and I stand by the cops on some of what they do. I won't say all, I won't say most, on some of what they do. But yesterday I was watching a whole bunch of justice porn against cops who were doing terrible things to people, harassing them about the skin color, about certain things like that. Just beautifully, the people stayed calm. They're like, no, officer, this is what happened. They took it to court, and then a lot of times they won a lot of money because the cop was just being a complete jackass. I love stuff like that. I'm going to bring this full circle back to my college sociology class and say there were a lot of arguments in the class. I'm not going to say debates. These were straight arguments because not only did the teacher herself promote the SJW feminist agenda in a very hostile way, but there was another woman in the class who was a classmate who promoted it, and they got along very well. And I will say that some of my friends are against that agenda and that narrative. Part of it being that they're completely misogynistic assholes and that they have no belief in women's rights at all. I will openly admit that. The other part of it being that they find it absolutely fun to argue back and forth with someone. These are two people who are trying to become criminal defense attorneys, and their reason for becoming criminal defense attorneys is because they just feel like defending people that they know are absolutely guilty, but they want to make innocent, like OJ or Casey Anthony. That's the type of person that we're dealing with. These two parties would get into arguments all the time. And that's kind of what really opened me up to, wow, this can get really ridiculous. We would spend hours of this 3-hour long class going back and forth and in circles about this all the time. It was really annoying. One of my dad's friend is a police officer in Arizona. He has an amazing life. He owns a house. He is married and that kids. But all of the shit going on right now just ruined everything. No problem, Gavin. I'll see you later, man. Now I'm on Black Lives Matter and Antifa territory, and you're on their side. I'm not going to say Antifa territory because I know what Antifa stands for. I'm definitely not on their side. I love watching Antifa members get pepper sprayed, pepper ball, tased, shot with rubber bullets. That's like one of my favorite things. I will say now, though, as someone who has actually been inside of a Black Lives Matter protest here in downtown Orlando in the middle of the night, it's not what the media portrays, and you need to go out of your way to actively find true live streams of the movement. I will also say that there are people on all sides, not just Black Lives Matter, but in the police force, in the Antifa Black Lives Matter movement that are actively there to cause anarchy, to usurp, I say usurp for some reason, but usurp power from what's going on and hijack the protest for their own benefits. I don't think I've ever killed a Minecraft llama on stream. I've definitely killed a Minecraft llama before, unfortunately, and it was an accident because I was trying to barricade it in and I was building up high, and it was a traveling, a wandering trader, I should say, llama, and it had spawned on my skybox. And I was trying to fence it in, and I placed a block, and the block pushed the llama off the edge, so it fell to its death. It was a sad day. Rest in peace, that llama. I didn't even get to name it. My best advice, do your own independent research on everything. Don't take anyone's word for it, because I go to all these different first-hand primary sources of people recording at the different movements, and this is what I tend to find. Middle of the day, broad daylight, Black Lives Matter is out protesting the streets, holding up their signs, no hostile violence or anything like that, right? Toward the night, maybe 9, 10 o'clock at night, there's usually a curfew imposed in a lot of these cities that are seeing like hostile things. people start to disperse that are there for the truly peaceful, the protest, and all the people who want the chaos, who want the anarchy, start to show up. They start to filter each other out. 12, 1 in the morning, that's when we start to see the violence. We start to see the riots. Why are the riots actually started? For the most part, it's just people wanting to riot. They just want to break shit. I don't blame them. There are some windows that I look at, and in my brain, it just goes, wouldn't it be cool to see what that window would look like breaking? Wouldn't it be cool to see what that building would look like on fire? That's not to say that I'm ever going to act on it, but sometimes your brain just gives you these images. It just says, wouldn't it be cool if you did this? And there's an advertisement on YouTube that I see every once in a while for an app about meditating and stuff like that, but they call it the dark place in the mind. That brain just gives you that dark idea that you're like, no, brain, shut the hell up, and you tell it to go away, but it happens on occasion. So the people toward the end at night where they start rioting, they start breaking shit, they start actively hurting police officers and things like that, that's completely different. I don't agree with rioting. I don't agree with breaking personal property. This is something that everyone's going to say. There's not going to be a person out there who's ever going to be like, yeah, we should break everything. We should just destroy everything. We should walk down into the Amway Center in downtown Orlando and we should just start tearing the seats out. We should tear up the floor. That'll show the police that we really need them to stop shooting us. There's no one that's going to say that. They don't do that. However, an anarchist is going to say, yeah, we should actually firebomb the entire Amway Center. I would love to see it on fire. That'll teach the man not to oppress us and that we should be able to do whatever the hell we want. That's when we get into Antifa territory, and I don't agree with any of that. There's a difference in these movements. It's easy for us as human beings, and we're going back to AP Psych, and now we're going into sociology. The 2 classes I've had on sociology, it's really fun to be educated and older. Your human psyche likes to group things in boxes. And when things don't fit inside of our boxes, we tend to write those off as outliers. That's not normal. That's taboo. So for us, when the media presents us an image, we draw this box and we call it protest. And inside of the box labeled protest, we put Black Lives Matter, we put Antifa, we put riot, which is a different spin on a protest. A riot can be a form of protest, but usually there's a different connotation and denotation for both of those words. Protest implies that you're peacefully assembling, you have your signs out, and you're fighting for a change. Riot implies that you're actively breaking shit and trying to hurt people, and that police are going to be called into the area to tear gas, pepper ball, pepper spray, tase, water cannon people out of the area because you're actively breaking laws, breaking things. You see there's a difference in the way that those words are used, but your brain has grouped all of this into a box. And it's easy for us to group all of that into a box, and that box is going to make our perception of what's going on around us. So whenever we see these news stories about something happening to a Black Lives Matter protester being run over by a car after standing in the middle of a freeway, we put that into the box labeled protest. But it shouldn't be right beside the riot. We need to start being able to take one box and split it into multiple different boxes. So you have a box and then you have a subcategory of boxes underneath that. You need to understand that we have to be able to separate these categories and that not everyone is capable of separating those. And the only true way of separating those categories is to go out of your way to actively see it with your own eyes. You need to go be there, record it, watch live streams of what's going on. Read reports from first-hand reporters that have a blog or something like that. Read that. And you need to draw your own conclusions from that. to make your own boxes, your own subcategories for those boxes, and then you need to be able to place your words into those categories and subcategories. That's all I can tell you, demo. Go out of your way and look for all of that. That was really long. That was probably one of the best like paragraphs worth of statements that I've ever made on stream. Go ahead, Golden Llama. What attachment should I make for the MP5K? You could just go with something like easy, like a red dot. Sorry, I had to readjust. Maybe a stock, you know, something easy like that would be fine. We took a long break from working on this, and we're an hour and 37 minutes in. We can get back to doing the grip. Make this real easy. An ACOG on an MP5K? No. I don't like stuff like that. Why would you put an ACOG on an MP5K? I'm not telling you not to do it. I don't like the idea of doing that. I really don't like that in Rainbow Six Siege, for example, you can put an ACOG on the MP5. It's so big as a combat sight, and you're using a pistol caliber carbine. So I don't understand why you would put an ACOG on it, you know. Oh, on a P90. Oh, God, that's just the worst, my man. Ugh. No, please don't. No, how could you? I don't like the look of really big optics on submachine guns, pistols, and stuff like that. Long guns, I'd be pretty okay with having like a larger optic and stuff like that. But something small, no, not okay. No, we should never be putting a holographic on Model 93R. Nope, should not be happening. No, not a sniper scope either, man. That's no. No. Please no. That probably needs to be longer. This goes to like the bottom of the grip basically, but we'll stop it a little bit shorter. We'll do a 12. Okay, so a pistol scope on revolvers with a long barrel, perfectly acceptable in my book. I have very weird standards. Certain pistol scopes, I should say, because some are like really ugly. There are only certain scopes that I find reasonably attractive. I don't find a lot of them that attractive. That's offset, I should have known. So you'll see, like, I only have certain sights inside of my templates. And it's usually the ones that I find to actually be attractive. So I have my iron sights off the ACR, because that's good. Plaque bar's scope here, which is fine for rifles and whatnot. My old aim points here, which is nice. I like aim points. I have the Elysium AK sight, but chopped down, because I've liked the design of it for ages now. An EOTech, this is a small version. There's, longer, taller versions that we can always make as well. I like the EOTech look. The digital threat from Apex Legends, I love the look of. That might be all my sights, other than the EOTech and a magnifier, which I made specifically for an MP7. This sight that MyLegoWeapons designed for his last contest that he did, I like the look of. Oh, aim points comp 4, I think is what this is. I like the look of as well. I made that for John Wick's SIG MPX and really never used it on anything other than that. And most recently, I used it on a AR-15 fighting rifle, actually. And then a folding red dot sight, because I saw it. That's an actual thing, which is cool. The tracker sight from Call of Duty Ghosts. This one particularly made by Alan's Custom Lego. This Russian sight, I forget the name of always. A aimpoint acro for pistols. And this sniper scope, also made by Plaque Bar. So that's all the sights that I use. That's pretty much every single one that I use. Notice I don't have an ACOG because I don't like the looks of ACOGs. What gun do you find to be sexy? I find a lot of things to be sexy as guns. Most recently, my favorite looking rifle has been this thing right here. It's sad because this is a prototype that will never get past this, basically. They've gone with the AMP-17 and AMP-17B, but this thing just looks so cool. I don't know what it is. It just, ugh, I love it. I made one for the channel, actually, not too long ago. I actively hate how this works sometimes. I made a Lego Deagle ASMR video. Will you check it out? Yeah, I'll check it out after this, man. I don't mind looking at it. I like how it's an ASMR video. Wait, do these holes not line up? Crap. So since those holes don't line up, I can't use that to center this. Oh, but I did in fact just get it to center. That's good. Okay, so now we can copy and paste this a whole bunch. Get down to there, and then we do this, but flipped upside down. Like so. Bam, foregrip. I hate this. This design looks so bad. Ugh. We should probably save this before something bad happens. So now technically we need to make a bipod for it. And it looks like the bipod folds up to here. So I'm definitely going to make it in the folded position because I just don't want to be bothered to make it in any other position like this. I just don't want to do that. I really don't. So we need to make it in the folded position, which should be relatively easy to do. I also really hate the handguard, and I'm really, really sad that, where is that image at? I'm really, really sad that I can't find more information on this because that said M27 IAR, but I typed in M27 IAR handguard and it's not good. Like, believe me. I would love to know more about this handguard and get better looking images of it because I think that thing looks pretty cool for what it is. I can definitely tell that that's a very obvious LMG-esque handguard and not, just some weird tacked out thing that's really beefy. Like, you can definitely tell that's meant for heavy sustained fire. But I really just can't find any information on it, at least in the small 10-minute Google search that I did for it, which is really sad because I would love to know more about it. Oh, I'm so sorry. It's probably not really disgusting, but annoying nonetheless. Handguard type 3, so you mean the M16 ones? I technically have those M16 handguards. I could do that. It's just I'm not going to. I say that because I'm a shill for making things really easy for myself, right? But I'm also at the same time trying really, really hard to not I have to make something new, right? I can't just change like the handguard, add a bipod and stuff like that, and be like, yeah, guys, look, new model. I got to make some type of substantial changes, something, to really justify making something. See, now I'm getting slightly winded, which is no big deal. We're okay. I think I'm going to need to take a drink of water here in a second, which is right here. So we'll do that right now. Sip on it a little bit, actually. Oh, man. It's always nice to have some water. Today's drink sponsor, water, actually. This particular brand is Wesley Farms, which I believe is something that you can only get from BJ's. But it's good for what it is, at least to say. And it is, in fact, water, which is good for your soul. So I might break a mental sweat in LED, but I've never really sweated working in LED. I'm not going to say that I'm not comfortable, because right now I have all the fans turned off in the room, so it's somewhat hot in here, but it's not like I'm actively dying. I'm not sweating either. Oh yeah, I should have warned you guys before I went to move, but I just moved, so I'm sorry if that was loud or anything. Let's just do this. I was trying to really overthink that design for some reason when we can just do this and it will work out just fine. Terminal just left a comment. Alright, so we're actually going to put this in the folded position because we're going to use the folded position to index how long it's supposed to be, because if we take a look, open that in another tab just in case we ever get back to talking about that. If we take a look at how it's folded, you can see it's right here where the handguard gets smaller, so that's how we know how long it is. Do you think I should make a P90 or an MP5K? Wait, have you made a P90? If so, I didn't see it. I've made tons of P90s inside of LDD. The only Lego gun that I actually have access to right now in real life, sitting right behind me, is my P90 actually. Or at least an older version of the P90, one of my first versions of it. Because like I said, I've made boatloads of actual P90 models. Why is the gun purple? Because I have old man eyes. And being purple makes it far easier for me to see. LDD also gives us this ability to select things by color. So once this is all finished, I go back through and I can repaint this to a more appropriate color. It's not really difficult to do at all, and it makes my life way easier. Welcome back, Gavin. If I was to work in a standard color, like black, dark gray, or something like that, it's not going to work out for me because it's not. I can't see color contrast, shadows, things, details, and stuff like that in the darker colors. Whereas if I were to use these bright colors, you can see all the color contrast and the shadows and the details and stuff like that. Have you ever heard of bullet force? No. No, I haven't. Unless you're talking about like the amount of force that a bullet hits you with when it hits you. If that's what you're talking about, then yeah. But if it's not, then no. Oh, it's a game made in 2015. Nope, I have never heard of it. It's a pretty fun game. I don't really game too much. The only two games that I play right now, Apex Legends, Call of Duty Modern Warfare Remastered. I'm sorry, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2019. There's so many like remasters and shit like that that even now I'm like getting confused about which one's which and shit. Yeah, I just really don't play all too often. The couple games that I play now, those two that I just mentioned, I'll play 2-3 rounds and that's pretty much it. And I go, okay, time to get off, and then get off. I probably won't even end up playing tonight, to be completely honest, because I'm going on 8/22.
and I have work tomorrow. I play Modern Warfare 2019 on Xbox, but it's not like it matters because it's cross-compatible anyways. That's how I played with Trey a couple times now on the cross-compatible ways because it's cross-compatible, which is really, really nice for playing with people that you're not usually capable of playing with, because Trey plays on PlayStation and I play on Xbox. So, you know, you just get into like a Discord call and whatnot, and then you're able to play with one another, which is, like I said, really nice. Cross-platforming, definitely way of the future, and I can't wait because I know cross-platforming is coming for Apex Legends, which means there will be like way more people in lobbies and shit like that, which will be nice. And I'll be able to play with some other people that I don't usually get to play with. Xbox sucks. I mean, sure, I guess. It's what I use. I don't play custom games. I will let you know that right now. I stopped playing custom games when I played with my friends ages ago. I primarily stopped playing custom games because my friends would get really pissed off at me. At least in my friend group, they're really bad at first-person shooters, so I would usually kick everyone's ass in whatever game mode that we were playing, and that was with me being handicapped as well. So I remember the last time we played a custom game together, it was Black Ops 3 custom lobby, and we basically played Gun Game was one of the ones that we played, and I had the knife only basically, which automatically I'm not able to win because it's knife only, but they all basically said if I can make it to the end of the round, and none of them were able to advance all the way through the list, that I would win. That was my rule set for winning, and then obviously they would win if one of them hit the end of the gun game. And yeah, bad news for them. We made it to the end of the round and none of them won, and I was meleeing only, so that's kind of embarrassing on their part. So after that, we really stopped playing custom games because I would just always win, and that takes the fun out of it if, you know, only one person wins the entire time. I don't want to pay $30 to play a game every time I play it after I've already bought it. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about, dude. I didn't even buy Apex Legends, and I can play that game for free continuously. I'm not paying $30 every time after I've already bought it. I really don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Just finished like 4 matches of S&D on COD. Search and Destroy, my least favorite game mode. I absolutely despise Search and Destroy. I hate that you can't freaking respawn. We should save real quick. I hate how it's basically like a shit-talking lobby is what Search and Destroy is. And I really don't like it. I found that in this particular Call of Duty, I really only want to play Team Deathmatch, because that's like the only thing that I really like in this Call of Duty. And previous Call of Duties, Domination, a lot. I love Domination because you could drop some really high kill games in Domination, and I was good at the game, which is another reason why. But in this one, I don't know. It's just kind of Team Deathmatch is really I want. Do you have an alternative to ball joints? I really don't. That's unfortunately one of the benefits and drawbacks of me working in digital is I have everything at my disposal for the most part inside of LDE, and then if I don't have it in LDD, I can always switch over to Studio and get it from there. So I don't have any alternatives to ball joints. With Xbox, you have to spend so much more money to do the same thing. I really don't know what you're talking about still. You have to pay for almost every online service that you're using nowadays other than PC. You have to pay for the Sony store. You have to pay to get Nintendo's online service. You have to pay to get Xbox's online service. There are certain internet services that you still have to pay for. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. I don't have to spend more money on Xbox than I do on PC or Sony to play Apex Legends. The game is literally free. I don't have to spend more money to play Modern Warfare 2019 on Sony, PlayStation, or PC. You pay $60 for the game, and then all else equal, you're fine. It's all the same price. I love Search and Destroy. I keep pooping on the enemies with an Uzi. I've seen your montages, man. It's fucking crazy. Unfortunately, the older I get with age, the less my reflexes are, it's freaking sucks, because I've rewatched some of my old gameplay from Black Ops 1, Black Ops 2, and I just don't understand how I was able to do it back in the day. Because I had the sensitivity like ungodly high in my old Call of Duty gameplays. And I could just make out targets in the most blurry of situations for some reason, and I just can't do that anymore, and it's destroying me. Like mentally, I'm just like, ugh, why can't I do this? Playing Apex Legends is freaking, it's bad, because if I don't have like a 3x or 4x sight on whatever weapon I'm using, and I'm shooting at something at long range, I miss everything. I just feel so bad because my friend's over here calling out damage numbers, and I'm saying, yeah, no, I just keep missing. I missed everything. Sorry, Luke, I literally missed everything. I did no damage to that person. And he was only like, 4 damage away from going down or something. I'm 23. I'm pretty much a 99-year-old World War II vet at this point. Wait, you get to be 23 years old and you're... So I used to, the first time I opened a Call of Duty game to play it, I would always start with campaign. Always, always, always. And I would set the sensitivity to the max for everything. That's the way I played the campaign to get myself used to it. And then that's how I played the whole multiplayer experience afterwards. Oh shit, here we go, another montage. That's what I used to do. Nowadays, I try to keep, between Apex Legends and Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2019, I try to keep the sensitivities relatively the same so the skills translate. It's really, really weird because if I've played Modern Warfare 2019 all day and I go to Apex, I'll get really high kill games because the aim and the time to kill from Call of Duty to Apex is like so different that it benefits me almost, which is really weird. We should definitely play sometime, and I should get a whole bunch of us together because Gavin has his, so we get Gavin to play. I could play with you. Trey has his, so we could play with Trey. I think a couple other people might have it as well. So that's like, we could all cross-platform and join up in a Discord call, something like that, and play. And we just have to find something to play that all of us agree with. Trey really likes to play Warzone. I played Warzone with him in a couple different games. I really hated it. I hated every inch of it. I hated being respawned into an area, and then the second your shoot opens, all of a sudden like 15 people are shooting at you with fucking light machine guns. That is the worst thing in the world. It's literally a World War II pre-invasion of D-Day. being dropped out of planes in the middle of the night into like MG42 fire. It's fucking miserable. It's a simulator of that. I hated it. Wait, the HK53 is just an MP5 but uses a larger caliber, right? Yeah, for the most part. I would say the HK53 is a 5.56 chambered rifle that has a MP5 handguard on it. I play everything mostly search and destroy though. Understandable. The like true sweats play search and destroy. Why does your cousin call you that, man? What the fuck? Alright. Did we ever figure out what this magazine was called? Because I have literally everything except that. And we kind of need that. Let's actually, where, here it is. The image that we were using links to modern firearms. This is going to lag stream. I can already guarantee it because fucking stream. Date down here. Open bolt gas system is copied from M16. No dedicated gas pedal. Power gases are fed from the gas block. Gas tube receiver is made from aluminum. 2 parts, upper lower. Crosspins barrel is heavy profile, cannot be replaced in the field. Gun has buffer. Feed is from magazines only. Any M16 compatible magazine can be used, but most common are either 100 round double drum magazines or standard issue 30 round curved box magazines. Standard furniture includes large plastic handguard or rectangular cross section with attached vertical foregrip and mounting point for detachable folding bipod. Yeah, so basically what I'm seeing here is we've definitely made the A2 version. It just takes a regular magazine. Like, we don't have to go over the top. Let's close out of this shit because it's lagging stream. I don't even sweat. Controllers always lose to mouse and gun fights. Oh my god, dude, get the fuck out of here. It's interesting to watch some of the Pro League for Apex Legends because it's openly mixed inside the tournament, and it's player preference over which one you want to play, controller or mouse and keyboard. It's crazy because in my eyes, mouse and keyboard is infinitely superior inside of Apex Legends for when you're looting, because it's easier to scroll using the scroll wheel than it is using the left stick on a controller. You can also retain your movement on mouse and keyboard in Apex Legends while looting inside of a box, as opposed to controller where you just stop moving entirely. You become an easy target. But there are still pros out there that only use controller that do really, really well in competitions. It's really weird. Ah, okay. I see Golden Llama. Really good tracking. Like, it's definitely changed. This this new update's definitely been really interesting. Do you physically build your own models? Some of them, not all of them. I tend to keep a lot of the guns that I build kept together and not broken down after every single build. So a lot of my pieces that we use, particularly for building weapons, has ended up going into builds that are still together, and I haven't broken down. So, yeah. Last time I played was when Logo was just introduced. You played last season, then Season 5. See you later, Gavin. Season 6 literally dropped like 2 weeks ago. So, there's a new character out. Her name is Rampart, and she has a minigun and AWOLs from Titanfall 2. Because controllers are good. Controllers are good, but they're not as good as mouse and keyboard. That's pretty much not disputed. Like, that's almost genuine fact at this point. I heard how crazy she is. She's like mix of both, because it definitely boils down to how you play her. Her A wall is really good because you can block doors with it. So not only will they have to punch through the doors to get inside, because it literally blocks the doors from opening into you. You can open them outwards though, which is really helpful. But then you also have to destroy the top of the wall, which does X damage outbound, but blocks bullets from hitting her, and then destroy the bottom of the wall as well. And their only real weakness is that when they're being built, they're really weak. Whereas, you know, as an actual wall fully built, it's actually pretty strong for the most part. Like, you're definitely gonna have to put some bullets in it to get it to go down. I don't really use the minigun on the new character anyways because it's fucking really inaccurate. Like, getting a kill with that at any type of range is really difficult. Like, you need to be really close to someone in order to be able to use it. Pathfinder just recently got like a mini buff, if you will, because they changed his passive, because they gave all the scouting characters Pathfinder's old passive, which is kind of cool because it gives you a reason to play the other scouting characters. And then they also, his new passive, every time you scan one of the survey beacons, it reduces the cooldown of your ultimate up to 6 times, which is amazing because that gives you the ability to basically... This is everything for the most part. It gives you the ability to keep using his ult on lesser and lesser cooldowns, which is, it's really nice, honestly. Like, being able to do that, that's a huge buff on his part. That's primarily the reason why they nerfed him. I understand why they nerfed him. I just really think that they, with his new passive, they should also include in there that every time you scan a survey beacon, it reduces the cooldown of your grapple as well as your ultimate. But with the grapple, I would do a 2-second reduction because I think his ultimate is a 6-second reduction every time. But that would be really, really useful. And Pathfinder would definitely start getting played a lot more. An Octane main. Mad respect. I love playing Octane. I don't think I could ever main him though. How many subs do you need to live stream on mobile? Don't know. Like I legitimately don't know. No, I should leave all these. Let's leave these. It'll be some detail in the magazine at least. Since I'm not making a new one, and we're just going to use the old one. I think it's 100 subs to start streaming in general. I think. I don't remember because they keep changing the rules like over and 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 over again. The like adpocalypses really didn't help with the rules of everything. You know, obviously my channel got demonetized during the adpocalypses and shit like that. So, I legitimately just don't know what it is anymore. It's also kind of one of those things that the second you reach the threshold, you kind of just don't give a shit anymore. Like, you just leave it all behind you. Whoa. Why does no one watch my streams? I'm in a very niche build. Like, how many people actively look for Lego gun building? None, basically. Like I said, this is very niche. This is not something that people actively go out of the way to search for. I don't even blame them for not actively looking for this. You have to be into Legos and into guns, and you need to understand that there are way bigger Lego gun builders than me out there right now, and that's part of the reason why sometimes I don't have people watching me and shit. Damn, you're visiting Florida soon? That's amazing, first off. And I'm in a very good location to meet up at like a restaurant or something with you if you want to. No pressure. I know that's, you know, it's kind of hard for some people to be like, yeah, I definitely want to meet up with you. And then like it's your first time meeting them and you've only ever known them online. It's funny. My roommate's actually inside the kitchen right now cooking something. It actually kind of smells decent, to be honest with you. We had never met in real life until the day before we moved in together. And it was a very, very interesting experience. Thanks, Joshua. Appreciate it. Nice, you're going to Tokyo. I hope you have fun in Tokyo while you're over there. My girlfriend lived in Japan for a little bit of time, and the good things that I hear about her living in Japan are definitely a reason to go visit if I ever really wanted to. I think my only real issue with Japan is my lack of wanting to try their foods over there. That's my biggest issue with Japan, which is like a super dumb issue, to be completely honest. Like, I should be super willing to try a lot of the food, but I'm just, some of the things that I've witnessed, I'm like, no, why do they do this? I don't want that. That right there, I'm happy enough with. It gets the point across. And I know that this guy will be super happy that I finally actually did this. Squid, don't want. Any type of seafood, I don't want. And that's a huge reason why I don't want to go to Japan, because I know a lot of their diet consists of seafood. A lot of what the people like really push for, you know, their main, yeah, this is really good, their delicacies, stuff like that consists of seafood. For obvious reasons, freaking island nation, so it would be smart to use the sea to your advantage and get most of your food out of it. But I don't like seafood other than shrimp, and I don't want anything. Crab is really good, especially in Florida. Nope. I don't eat any seafood other than shrimp. And the shrimp that I do get is fresh caught by my uncle. So I know it's good actual shrimp and not, you know, stuff that's been sitting in the supermarket for ages. 90% of Asian is just seafood. It's true. And then every once in a while, there's that one dish that my girlfriend goes, no, I promise you, I really, really like it. And then I try it, and it's really good, but it looks really disgusting. I'm not weird. I'm just a picky eater. I don't know if we're going to end just yet. How's it going? We could. Actually, there's something I can check to see if we're going to be ending soon or not. Because I can do this. Someone has already made a Lego wearable suit. It's actually a suit of armor if you want to check it out. It's I believe it's on Beyond the Bricks channel. I believe it was a samurai suit of armor or maybe a mech suit of armor. I'm not really sure. But someone has actually done it. That's my problem. We're going to continue with stream because I just checked location of Kenyatta and she's still way, like she's like 30 minutes away. So we can continue. We can just talk back and forth. Maybe do some cursed shit since I have the time to. But what was I going to say? I can't eat certain foods because it disgusts me. Right off the bat, fried chicken. I can no longer eat fried chicken. Fried chicken was ruined for me by the amount of times I've eaten KFC while out on the road. And unfortunately had to suffer through like the gristle on the chicken. The gristle on fried chicken or chicken legs, chicken wings, I should say, is enough for me to just want to, it makes me want to gag right now just talking about it. So I don't, there are foods out there that disgust me to the point where I will literally in my mind say, nope, I'm going to go throw up now and I will make myself sick to my stomach. The only chicken that I will eat is boneless, skinless white chicken breast, and it has to be prepared by me or my girlfriend. Or my girlfriend's mother, because my girlfriend's mother can cook. Those are like the only 3 people that I really eat chicken from. For me, eating leftovers depends on what type of leftovers it is. There are certain leftovers I will never, ever touch again. There are other leftovers that I will eat same day, like in the middle of the night. I've never heard of Guthrie's. I might just be in your state. Spaghetti, I will eat leftover. Cold or warm, it doesn't matter. But I will also only eat spaghetti as long as it doesn't have spaghetti noodles in it, which is, it kind of ruins the point of it being called spaghetti if I don't put spaghetti noodles in it. But I hate spaghetti as a noodle, and I hate angel hair as a noodle. Those are my 2 least favorite noodles. So I literally have like a pact with my girlfriend that we don't buy either of those noodles for the house. We buy penne, rigatone, rotini, elbows, shells, medium and large, spirals, literally anything but angel hair and spaghetti. Yo, thanks, Joshua. Appreciate it, man. She made homemade chicken Alfredo the other night, except without the chicken. I just always call it chicken Alfredo. So it's literally just Alfredo sauce and noodles, but she made the Alfredo sauce from scratch, and it was delectable. It was so rich. It was just amazing. She put the leftovers in a container, and that leftovers I devoured the next day for lunch. And I mean, I didn't even really heat that up. I just put that inside of the truck windshield while at work, and the sun did its job for me. And I ate that for 2 days. Most other Alfredo, I will let you know right now, I like a jar of Alfredo that you buy from a store. I would have to heat up before I ate. I would not just eat that cold. Whereas hers, I would eat, lukewarm using the sun. It's weird because as a kid, dog treats always looked appetizing to me. Until the day that I actually ate one, I was like, oh, well, it can't kill me. It doesn't kill my dog, so let me try it. It must be good. And then I tried it, and I was just like, because, it tastes like fucking cardboard to us. So I will openly admit that I actively tried a dog treat before and hated it. It happens. Have you ever looked at some of these dog treats? Look at this. We can actually Google search this now because I'm free to go look at other things. We could also close out of my YouTube pad. I see these all the time in my local store that I go to for my dog's food that I buy for my dad on occasion. They will literally make these cupcake treats that are specifically for your dog. These little things. I think I passed by them, but yeah, they're literally for like your dog. You literally get cupcakes for your dog. So you mean to tell me like a kid's not going to look at that cupcake and be like, oh my god, that looks so good, I want it, and then they try it and they realize it's fucking dog food? This is a conspiracy at this point. The government should look into this because there is no company that should be making dog treats look so delectable to children. This is ridiculous. This is like Tide making Tide Pods look delectable to children. This is an outrage. Yogurt treats. That sounds freaking fantastic. What the hell are hamster yogurt treats? Yeah, hamster yogurt drops. Yo, look at these things. They're bagged in very bright bags. I mean, clearly it's for hamsters because there's a freaking hamster on the front of it. But look at them. Look at these things. Here's one that's clear. Look at that. That looks like something that you'd find in like the granola aisle of your store and whatnot. Like that very clearly looks like mixed fruit, like Chex Mix granola, like I said, and stuff like that. Nah, man. That's ancient. You're making me start to feel old because I was still in school when that came out. I'm not going to promote your channel openly on stream just in case. I have, on occasion, gone to someone's channel on YouTube, and let's just say YouTube took exception to me showing that channel on YouTube, and they banned me for streaming for 3 months, and it really fucking sucked because I hated every bit of it. So I don't tend to go to YouTube a lot while I'm live streaming for that one obvious reason. I really don't want to get banned from live streaming on YouTube again. Those 3 months of my life really fucking sucked because I would get into these moments where I was like, yeah, I should stream on YouTube. And then I would go to stream and it'd be like, you're still blocked from streaming. And I was like, why? Why am I still blocked from fucking streaming? This really sucks. Also, trust issues from Sick. I don't open Discord a lot while on stream now because of that. I also have chat where people send me memes and stuff that aren't exactly safe for work. So I try not to open Discord a whole bunch as well. Because it's gonna like bring up an issue with stream. There was a stream that we did. I actually really liked what we built in stream, and I was really happy with how stream turned out. But after stream was said and done, I had to delete the stream because Sick showed not safe for work image on stream, which ruined everything for me because I was really pissed off after that. I had to literally delete the stream because of it, which is not fun. I really wish that never happened and that stream was still up because it'd be really cool to go back and rewatch some of the building process and some of the conversations that we had and stuff like that. It also it detracts from like the lore of the channel, if you will. From not you can't, whatever I said in that stream, the people who were there might remember some of it. They might not. I don't really fucking care, to be completely honest with you. But obviously, it's not going to be something that people can go back and look at. Insert Ollie intro here. It's been ages since I've seen an Ollie video. I didn't even actively watch him as a subscriber. It was mostly just, I had this very strange obsession with YouTube drama while in high school. I don't as much anymore. I still keep up with some drama on YouTube, but usually only the real big stuff that Critical tends to talk about. But Ollie used to be on Drama Alert all the time for whatever the fuck he was doing at the time. So I used to hear about him a whole bunch, and on occasion would have to go watch one of his videos to get kind of caught up with the lore of what the fuck he did and why people hated him. Yeah, see, now you feel old because, him.
Yeah, it's miserable to feel old like this because you remember these trends that were ages ago, and then you're just kind of thinking about it, and you're like, wow, but I'm only this old, but I feel so much older. It's weird because so right now the biggest anime that I'm watching that I absolutely love. It's probably one of my all time favorite shonen anime. I won't call it my favorite anime of all time, but I'll call it one of my favorite shonen anime. Is One Piece, and it's super weird because the first episodes of One Piece were released in 1997. It was actually released the same year I was born. Uh, and it's weird to me that One Piece is literally the same age as me, and you can definitely tell as you continue along in the anime that their animation changes slowly but surely from the original, and all of a sudden we start hitting like these beautifully well animated scenes, like movie quality animated scenes. And if you ever go back and you rewatch some of the original episodes and you get that 1997 janky ass animation, it's really jarring and weird. Yes, Joshua, One Piece is one of my favorite animes of all time in the shonen genre. I don't like Dragon Ball demo. Rip. My sister's been watching One Piece for the last like 7 years. That's the worst part about One Piece. It takes so long to catch up with, and I feel miserable right now because I'm in the middle of the longest arc in One Piece. I shouldn't even say I'm in the middle of it. I'm at the beginning of it with Kenyatta. We're in the Dressrosa arc right now, and it feels bad because we only watch One Piece together. But I know with some of the downtime that I have at work, I could watch maybe 2, 3 episodes worth of, One Piece while at work, but I can't because Kenyatta's not with me, and we have a pact that we don't watch certain animes without the other one, and One Piece is one of them. One Piece isn't as good as Dragon Ball. I'll laugh my ass off. You don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Get the fuck out of here. I stopped watching anime after I finished a Kame ga Kill. Kame ga Kill was good. I will say that it does go away from the original source material, but it's not too bad because I never read the original source material, so for me, it was fine. Hey, Potato Bricks. Hi, Stamper Bob Dave. So the other benefits of being 23, you can legally stream nowadays my anime. I pay for a subscription service. I pay for VRV actually. Well, I should say my girlfriend pays for VRV, but by extension me because I pretty much give her money anyways. I'm not going to openly tell you a website that you can go stream because I truly am one of those people who believes if you are going to support the material, you need to pay for it. I will tell you that there are plenty of websites out there that you can torrent One Piece off of and watch for free. I was not always someone who had a job and had money to pay for a subscription service. I will say that. I'd let a Kame cut me. Oh yeah, definitely, dude. That's the worst part about watching like multiple anime. You find like all these different waifus. Actually, no, I can't even turn the. This is what I can do though. I can take a picture and post it in Discord. I think is what I can do. Oops, that's not it. That's it. So I'll take a picture and then I'll post it in Discord, and then I'll open my Discord because I feel comfortable opening my Discord, and I can show you guys this. But I have so many different waifus, like miserably, man. Now then the question is, which chat can I post this in that is not gonna like immediately pop up in? Oh, I know what I can do. I can post it here, and then I can just turn you guys' screen off.
open it and then turn your guys' screen back on. That'll help. Hey, Kaylee. So we can scroll over to here. We can do this. So everything goes black. I can open Discord safely without the fear that something terrible is gonna fucking pop up. I can go here. I can click on this. I can press open original. It'll pop up, which is good. I can go back to Discord and close out of whatever I just had, so you guys don't have to see that, which is good. And then I can go to OBS and press this, and then pow, it comes back. But I have this on my wall right now, actually. This is like one of my first waifus of all time, from one of probably my favorite. I can actually probably say that this is top 3, because I have different categories, like top classic, like my favorite classic anime, Cowboy Bebop by far, but this would be just consider my overall favorite, Eureka 7, and this is Eureka from Eureka 7. Watching so many different small animes, you will find so many different waifus, and it will really change your life. Gotcha. Up to episode 936. I'm fine. You don't see me because I literally got out of the shower when I started stream, and I don't have a shirt on, and I'm not going to put a shirt on. I have both of my fans turned off. I've gotten plenty of complaints over the ages about background noise and shit like that in my stream, so I get kind of tired of hearing it on the occasion. Other times I'll tell people I really don't fucking care, but there are times where I do say, yeah, I get it. I understand. I have a microphone that can fix that, but I only have so many USB ports on this laptop. It'll be changed when I buy a MacBook eventually. Or I'm sorry, not a MacBook. I have a MacBook, dumbass. When I buy a desktop Mac, an actual desktop itself, all in one. I haven't left the Kame ever since. I don't blame you, dude. No, eventually, though, another one will come into your life. I promise you. It's funny because when I drew the picture of Eureka and I put her inside the poster, I told my girlfriend I still have, plenty of banner paper that I could draw on. And the frame is a Target frame, so I can get another frame. And I asked her who she would want on her side of the bed. And it was right as you were watching Darling in the Franxx, Asher. So she said 02, and I was like, how did I fucking know? And it's really funny because both animes, by extension, are mech animes. They have some form of romance, and they have I don't even know how to describe them. A younger female pilot who's, I guess Eureka's not too overly sexualized in her show, but I mean 02, definitely. But there's a huge following behind them as waifus and shit like that, so I figured it's really weird because not only did she say 02, but I knew she was going to say 02. And then I was going to put in the middle of the bed Asuka from Neon Genesis Evangelion, because of course we're talking about another waifu that people fantasize over and they dream about all the time, though it's more debatable inside of Neon Genesis Evangelion because you have Rei and a couple other female characters from the show that are older that you could also go for. But Asuka's the main waifu from Neon Genesis Evangelion, so over time, I'm just going to have these walls of posters of waifus from mech anime. Oh, God. It's funny because I can think of so many different females from mech anime that I could draw a poster of and be perfectly fine with. So, if I'm going strictly for female pilots from mech anime, I can hit you with Karine from Code Geass. Duh. That's just a no fucking brainer at that point. Eureka from Eureka 7. Asuka from Neon Genesis Evangelion. 02 from Darling in the Franxx.
There was someone in Captain Planet that was waifu material, though I don't remember her name. And then I was just thinking of Eureka 7 Astral Ocean. There's like 2 or 3 different waifu material characters in that show. There's like just so many. It's ridiculous. I've seen so many anime at this point that I forget watching certain anime. I don't watch anime at all, but from all the ones I've watched so far include killing and a lot of decapitation. I literally think that's just your choice for anime, because there are way more anime that do not involve killing or a lot of decapitation. There are entire animes out there dedicated to nothing but sports. Free is a fantastic sports anime. Kuroko no Basket, I think. I always forget the K, but it's something no basket. It's about basketball. There's anime about nothing but beach volleyball, volleyball in general. There's entire sports anime about sports that are made up. I forget the name, but it comes to mind all the time because it's literally nothing but fan service in a show. But I mean, it fucking sells, obviously. But you have the show where the contestants literally will use their butts to try to push them outside the ring like a sumo wrestler, except you're using butts, and it's usually women dressed in very scad clothing, and they're all very attractive. There's entire shows dedicated to that. I just, like you said, there's only certain shows that catch your interest, which I completely understand. I'm one of those people who can watch anime from almost any genre and be happy as long as it has a decent story to it. I'm weird like that. I used to recommend anime to my friends all the time, and they used to come back the next day and be like, I don't understand why you recommended me that. That was fucking terrible. I hated the animation. I can't believe you would ever recommend me a show from 1970. How dare you? And then there are other people who come back and they go, wow, that was a real diamond in the rough that you gave me. I really liked that one. That was very thought-provoking how they presented this issue. And then every once in a while, you hit that golden peak of anime climax that the gods give you, right? And that golden peak for me, and I don't think I'll ever find another one like this again, though I'm hoping I do, was the Ghost Stories dub. The best dub in all of history. It is a official English dub for a show. It is officially licensed by the Japanese studio that animated Ghost Stories, and it is just the greatest thing of all time in the English dub. The Japanese version of Ghost Stories sucks ass. It flopped in Japan. The American dub, they were told there's 2 things in the story that they can't change. They can't change how the ghosts are captured, and they can't change the name of the ghost. That's the only 2 things they can't change, right? Everything else was free game, so they wrote abridged dialogue for the entire show. They officially produced this inside of a studio. They were paid to do this, and then they put it out there as an official dub, and it has since then gone down as one of the most legendary shows in all of anime history just because of its dub. Any anime that doesn't include a lot of action and killing doesn't catch my attention. I understand where you're coming from, because in high school, that's a lot of what I focused on in terms of my anime tastes. But then I was exposed to a couple other animes that were good that didn't involve a lot of that. Free being one of them. Free has no killing. It doesn't really have a lot of action in it either. It's more like drama, really. Like a Korean drama almost, but in anime form. I literally don't think anyone dies in Free. It's been a long time since I've seen Free. The other worst part about watching a lot of anime, all of a sudden certain animes start blending into other ones, and you start to forget what happens in certain situations over time, which is really annoying. I have to write some things down. There's also other anime out there that has a lot of action and killing, but it's so bad that I stop continuing it. This is going to be a huge controversial opinion, and I'm going to go ahead and say it right now. I stopped watching Attack on Titan because I hated where they went with the show. It had plenty of action in it. It had plenty of killing in it. Believe me, that show was brutal with killing characters. but I stopped watching it because they just took the show in a direction I did not want to see. I really didn't like it. I know the new seasons are supposed to be really good, but that show dropped. It was amazing when it first dropped. It was this splash of freshness in its new thing. I was unfortunately one of those hipsters that had read the manga way back in the original. So I had already known about it. So when it dropped, I wasn't riding, like huge hype train. I was definitely happy that it dropped. But because I had read the manga, eventually I found out what was in the basement. And the second I found out what was in the basement, I stopped caring about anything to do with Attack on Titan. I got the plot, basically. It's about corruption. It's about systemic racism in a sense, if you will, about trying to control the people and everything like that goes along with that. And once I kind of found out where they were going with it, I went, cool. And I dropped it. I stopped watching it. There are shows out there that I'm going to find that have action and killing in it that I don't want to watch. Just is what it is. To the flip side of that, there are shows out there that I watch that have no killing, no action in it, that are just absolutely ludicrous that I love. I forget the name of the show. It's very short. It's mostly just fan service in a nutshell. It's a very simple formula to follow, and I'm pretty sure there's like a whole studio in Japan, maybe even more, I don't know, of just this studio that follows this one formula. Guy gets into some type of out of ordinary experience that usually involves one woman. Getting involved with this woman brings a whole bunch of other women around him, and they all get into this weird, extraordinary experience. And I mean that as extraordinary, not extraordinary, but extraordinary as in not normal. And at the end of it, they all kind of fall in love with him, and he has this gigantic harem. And then usually the ending to the show is the most like mediocre, predictable thing ever. And they try to keep it ambiguous which one he ends up with because they don't want to piss off the people who are shipping this one or the other people who are shipping this one, and they're causing the ship wars, if you will. I don't know the name of the show, but it follows that very predictable thing. But the extraordinary circumstance that they get in is that the women the guy gets interloped with are fucking soda cans. Literal soda cans. Like aluminum soda cans that are fighting for dominance. I forget the name of the show, but the show is ridiculous. Who comes up with the show where you have soda cans that can turn into actual women, and they walk around in the streets and they get into actual fights to prove their dominance over one another? It's ridiculous, but it was super fun. I watched that show start to finish. It was hilarious. I enjoyed it. There was fan service in it, and fan service helps when you're just, in general, attracted to women. It's great. It's not a show that you're going to watch, I guarantee it, David, but it was funny as hell. There's a couple other shows out there that I really like that follow the same exact principle. Gate being one of them. Gate is a fantastic show, and I love Gate, but its plot is like miserable. There's a whole bunch of plot holes if you think about it, but it's great for what it is. It's a giant jerk-off fest to the Japanese self-defense force, which there is nothing wrong with, on top of being a fan service show that panders to the harem main character image. It's great. Imagine cracking a colon and it just becomes a girl out of nowhere. Yeah, you'd be living every main anime protagonist's life at that point. I don't even remember what I said at this point, Asher. Gate is a good show that I love. It involves this portal opening in modern day Japan, and a whole bunch of like medieval people come out of it. They kill some of the Japanese citizens, and the Japanese self-defense force basically says, nope, we're not going to deal with that. That's an act of war. Time to go invade this foreign country through the portal. So they invade this foreign country through the portal using their modern military versus these people who have nothing but like horses and swords and spears and shit. And they just absolutely decimate them. Gate is a fantastic show that I absolutely enjoy. It's just there to have fun and provide fan service to the community. That's pretty much all Gate is, but it's great at doing it. It's fun at doing it. The other show that I can name off the top of my head that follows this exact same format is Archipelago of Blue Steel. It's a show about a guy who finds a boat. The boat can turn into a woman. And it's kind of weird because then the woman can manifest on top of the boat. It's weird. There's just like some type of link to the woman in the boat. And then the guy is taking over a submarine. That's his like main shtick is the submarine. That's part of Blue Steel, if you will. And then inevitably there's these battleships that are hunting the submarine, and he's back and forth duking it out with these people. And then eventually all the battleships kind of fall in love with him. And yeah, the submarine is the main chick, but the battleships are all fighting for his honor and his love. And honestly, I don't know how I find these shows, but I find a lot of them to be they're fun. Who the fuck comes up with this? The ship is run by a single woman. Okay, that's it. If they're like psychically like linked to one another or something, I don't know how I find them, but like I said, it's fun. Like really, I guess the way that I tend to find stuff like this is I'll just scroll through VRV at times and click on links. I used to have this dream that I would go through VRV one anime at a time. The unfortunate part is the Dot Hacked series is the first anime listed on VRV, and I can't bring myself to watch Dot Hacked. I know that Dot Hacked is supposed to be really good. It's the first version of an isekai anime, if you want to call it that, as a genre. That's probably disrespecting the Dot Hacked name, to be completely honest with you. But it's something that I would love to watch, in all honesty, if I could bring myself to get through the first little bit of it. Dot Hacked is the original Sword Art Online, the original Log Horizon, the original Konosuba, if you will. All three of those are all isekai animes, basically being teleported into another world. I guess Overlord as well plays into the isekai genre. That said, it's 9:19. I am hungry. We've talked a lot. We've accomplished a lot on stream. I have two different versions of the Colt LMG to render because I kind of want to render the gold one. I made the gold one as a complete joke, but now I kind of really want to see what the gold one looks like, So I think we're good. We've been going for... where's OBS? We've been live for almost 3 hours, so I think this is a good stopping point. So, thank you guys for coming out watching. Asher, thanks for staying behind and being amazing. I appreciate your conversations, as always. Everyone else who's still here, I really appreciate y'all as well. I'll see you later, Josh. Thanks for subscribing, man. Appreciate it. Hope this first stream, if this is your first one, was good enough for you, my man. How's it going? I'll see you guys later, too. Everyone else who stopped by earlier in stream, who might be watching this stream after you've left in the VOD or whatever you want to call it, thank you. I'll see you guys later. Yes, definitely going to watch that new Instagram drop. I'm also going to go watch that Desert Eagle ASMR video now. I'm going to close out a chat because if I don't, I'm just going to keep talking to it, and I don't need that. So